bunch of pucks flying out of it. I get violent sometimes.
Drake just dropped his newest Iceman stream, and he's trying to redefine what rollout means. In a new Complex interview, he talks about how the typical rollout is calm waters. But is he really changing the game with what he's doing? On the flip side of that, Roc Nation just announced a new distribution dashboard for independent artists. Now, this means that they get to give you 85% of your money and they take 15%. Is this a good deal for independent artists, or is this just another record label slave deal? Let's talk about it.
The STEM Society.
What's going on, people? My name is Cole Jackson. This is the STEM Society. Welcome back. Episode 131 is live. Thank you for joining me. If you like what I do, because what I do is not very easy, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you guys are growing this community and make sure you're having some real hip-hop conversations with each other. I really enjoy all the comments that I get, good and bad, so make sure you guys are down below doing what you're supposed to be doing, and make sure you give me a thumbs up, because honest hip-hop commentary is hard to come by these days. I appreciate everybody who's a part of this society. Continue to grow this thing. So let's start off with this Drake interview, bro. He did an interview with Complex this week, and he made some very valid points on this new rollout with Iceman. Now, for those who don't know, he just did his newest stream. I don't see a lot of buzz on the internet streets about it either. Like, nobody's really talking about it as much as they used to. Everybody has been celebrating the 1 year anniversary of GNX being out. So it kind of got caught up in that. But the newest stream is giving us a lot more clues on when this album is supposed to be dropping. He actually dropped something on his Instagram here recently showing us that it's coming soon. Now, I boldly told everybody that it's going to drop on December the 19th. And I think I just might be right. Now, I don't have all the clues, but I know enough to know that he's going to drop it in December. So we're going to get that album pretty soon. But I read the newest Complex interview, and he had some interesting points about what he was doing with these new streams. Now, this seems to be his way of doing a new rollout. And I think from the interview, he has a point. A lot of the old ways of doing rollouts are kind of redundant. So the first point he made was he's bored with the classic rollout. Drake says he loves a clean slate for new music, but he hates redundancy of the old formula. Singles, videos, single videos, cover posts, etc. Now, we gave praise to Clips here recently when they did it the old school way of dropping a video, then going all around these different podcasts, sitting down on podcasts and doing every interview possible, which built up a lot of buzz for Let God Sort Them Out. Even though a lot of people haven't really accepted the streaming side of things that Drake has been doing, it really does give us another level of what he's been trying to do. I think the streams are a smart way to be able to get people, especially a newer generation, excited for this album, man. Like, Drake here is most definitely. The industry rollouts these days are stale, and we complain about them all the time. He's right. Nobody really has the rollout situation down packed anymore. But if we dig a little bit deeper, we also understand that labels aren't really doing the traditional rollouts because they not going to put money behind anything. Ask Wale. Wale's recent album that just dropped has no promotion at all. Nothing. He has been going around doing interviews, and he has one of the best albums of 2025, and Def Jam just ain't putting the money behind it. Everything that Wale has done, he's done on his own, and I think that's what Drake is doing. Drake is taking the initiative to make sure that he's putting out the rollout. He's doing the rollout the way he wants to do it, and streaming is one of the more popular things that we like to watch here recently. So I completely agree. The old way of doing rollouts these days, very stale. Nobody's really trying to make any marks anymore. Nobody wants to get you excited for the album. Half the time, we don't even know when these albums are going to drop. So now we're at a point where you have to do something different to be able to get people motivated to buy your album. We've seen here recently that album sales haven't been what they used to be. I mean, you look at first week sales now, which doesn't mean that the album's good or bad, but we always use that metric. And right now, sales are down. Things aren't going the way we want them to go anymore. So what do? We have to find different ways to get people wanting to buy that album. I personally think the Iceman streams have been helping, especially with him dropping music throughout the time. And we know Drake has always been ahead of the curve. Remember, back in the day, early Drake used to just drop or leak music through SoundCloud. They used to get us excited for a lot of his upcoming albums, and a lot of those songs never really even made those albums. So it's just a different way for him to get the word out. I think more artists should go behind what he's doing and try to make these things possible. All it takes is internet, Twitch, OBS, a camera. Nothing more, nothing less. I think a lot of times our artists are so stuck in the ways of what they used to do that they don't want to take another step into making things better or getting us excited about this stuff. So the second thing Drake covered in this interview, and I thought was really important too, which nobody really talks about, is taking risks, taking very strategic risks. In the interview, he said, quote, "I've been dying to act, dying for a challenge." He added that he also feels like it's calm seas, nobody's rocking the boat, so live streaming felt like the right risk and reward. I like the fact that he's trying to shake things up with the streaming stuff. I like the fact that he's saying that it's calm seas out here. I think he's trying to get his name back out here and get more of a buzz by doing this. Now, a lot of people have been really overcritical about these Iceman streams, and I want to be honest with you, like, it is very non-traditional for a rapper of his caliber to be doing this type of stuff. But on the other end of it, you can most definitely feel that he is trying to get a younger generation or a younger demo to follow him through these things. And he's also trying to get us to be able to accept the fact that, like, times are changing, things are evolving, and we no longer have to do the typical normal rollout when it comes to putting your album out here. So another point Drake made during this Complex interview, which I think is one of the more important ones, is the feedback from the fans. He's been talking about real interactions, and he most definitely went into saying that fan interaction and feedback weren't the original plan, but became a huge byproduct. And they likely end every episode in public to keep that same energy.
Yeah, you guys already know this. Come on, bro. Yeah, what did I mention like that? Midnight.
Get me and Drake. Get us. What did I miss? Get me and Drake.
Love.
So basically, he's trying to outsource the hype in real time. Like, he's really trying to make sure that everybody's encompassed in this. Now, I don't think he really understood the streaming game before he started doing this rollout, but now he gets it. And to be honest with you, the fan interactions doing a lot of this stuff that he's been doing makes a whole lot of sense. And again, builds more anticipation for his album. We're in a point right now where this might be his make or break album. Let's be honest. This could be the album that could just get all fans turned off by Drake, or maybe give him a whole different demo when it comes to listeners or listenership. I think that this is still a pretty smart move. I don't remember anybody else having this type of, fourth wall breaking interaction with the fans when it came to rolling out their newest album. Now, we've seen some of the stuff that happened on some of his live streams and some of the reactions people have when they see him out in the street. Now, whether it's fake or not, you be the judge of that. But I think it's really smart to be able to have the fans involved when it comes to this rollout and when it comes to his new album. Again, this could possibly be a make or break album for him. So he got to do what he got to do to make sure people are fucking with him. And at the end of the day, you have a lot of people who are aging out of Drake. Let's just be honest. We have a lot of people who are aging out of Drake and not really enjoying the later half of his music. Now, the new fans who are about the streaming and about people who watch Casanata or Blackboy Max or all of these newer streamers, when they see stuff like what Drake is doing, they look at hip-hop completely different. And then that might make them want to buy his album. This is a whole new era for him. And I think what a lot of people, who, especially in the hip-hop community, is saying is this album going to be worth the hype that he's making right now? A lot of the songs have been hit or miss on these streams. A lot of what he's been doing has seemed very egotistical in my eyes. But that's Drake, right? That's who he is. That's what he's always been about, his ego. When it comes to people wanting to get attention about what they've been doing and how their life has been going, Drake has been number one in that whole thing. And not the albums don't always match what we've been asking for, especially the last 3 albums. I remember the hype that came for All the Dogs, and when we all thought that we were going to get the definitive Drake rap album, and then we ended up getting Slime You Out and and songs of that nature on there. I want to believe that this is going to be a great album from Drake because we've been waiting on it ever since the beef ended, and we've already gotten GNX, which is Kendrick's bookend to this whole battle. And I always want to hear what Drake's side is going to be. I just don't know, with all the hype behind all of these other artists and such a great year in music, if Drake can really end the year with something spectacular or end the year with something super solid or something that's going to make us talk more about him and give us the GNX effect, which is drop an album and make us talk about it a year later. Like, I don't know if these streams or this interview or everything he's been doing here recently is going to give us that. So that's where I'm at with it right now. What do you guys think? Do you think the Iceman streams are helping Drake? Do you think this is just going to be all hype and the album's going to be a flop? Let me know in the comments and tell me what you think. So, Roc Nation decided to announce their new distribution platform, which means they are going to help independent artists. The internet was abuzz, and I seen a lot of people say they like it. Smart people like myself who actually read through some of the things, seen exactly what was going on. Now, the first thing that came out to everybody was the split, the 85-15 split, which means you get 85% of what you make and Roc Nation gets a fee of 15%. Now, for a lot of people that was like, oh, how gracious that Roc Nation is going to do this. And for people like me who like to read, I was just like, nigga, you in a slave deal. You're just in a slave deal. And that's all it is to it. Let me just start with the split stuff first. There are a lot of people who love to connect themselves with something that Jay-Z does. I like to call them Jay-Z dick riders. Sorry, that's what it is. People looked at this as Jay-Z being a gracious, wonderful hip-hop overlord and saying, here you go, independent artists. I'm going to give you guys 85% of what you can do. And that's just not how that should work for independent artists. I'm just saying. There's other things that you can use, and I'll go get to that later, that is way better than that 85% crap. I think it's a bunch of bullshit, and I think that independent artists should read up more about how their business should go. But the fact that people was trying to push this, especially big time music talking heads, were really trying to push this as something that would be good for them. That just goes to show people look at the person connected to the product and not the product itself. And a lot of people just really want this to be something that works just because we can root for Jay-Z. And I just don't like it. I don't like it at all. I think the Roc Nation distribution system currently, especially with the splits, not fair to independent artists at all. It just doesn't work. So Russ, who is an independent artist himself, had a lot to say about this. He went on Twitter and said this: a $50 annual fee versus 15% of your entire catalog's revenue are not remotely comparable. One is a fixed cost, the other is a tax on your entire career. Free to upload is the okie doke. Fixed fees protect artists. Percentages drain artists. If you make even $1,000 a year, 15% is $150. You've already drained damn near 3 times the cost of any flat fee distributor. He went on to say a couple more things on Twitter as well, and the Twitter community killed this man for what he was saying. But what we fail to realize is, for the last 4 years, Russ has always spoke up for independent artists. He's even shown what he's making as an independent artist, and even gave a lot of game on a lot of podcasts. You should most definitely listen to any Russ interview. He will tell you the secrets and the game of what it's like to be an independent artist and how to get paid from this shit. Now, I know that Russ is not one of these. He's not black. And I think a lot of people think that his white privilege has a lot to do with his success. He has a core fan base, and he most definitely knows how to use his music and the promotion and everything to his advantage so he can sell what he can sell. And he's even started his own label. So I think he knows a little bit about what he's doing. The fact of the matter is, people trashing this man because he had an opinion about something that, if we're being honest with each other, is not fair, is what's killing me. This man has been giving game out for a very long time, and I don't think Roc Nation is doing anything like that. I know Roc Nation is not doing anything like that. For us to continue to sit up here and say, hey, here you go, give this to him. Roc Nation is not going to hurt these independent artists. You're a fool because, again, you're loving the person connected to the product and not the product itself. Jay-Z, again, love him. He's done a lot for the culture. but it's a lot more working parts outside of him that's making this run. And I think that's the problem that we're having right now. We're just looking at one person that's a part of this thing and not the whole entire company. Like, to me, if somebody's out here giving you real knowledge about what they've been doing and they're successful at it, that typically means that they're just trying to feed you the right information at the right time. For the internet to be so bitch made about it is hilarious to me, because there's no way in hell that I would sit up here and be mad about somebody who's making $1 million+ off their music independently and not want any kind of information from them. And again, I know they're looking at Russ as having white privilege, but the music ain't that bad. So I just feel like so many people want to just be on Jay-Z's team and they want to say Jay-Z did all of this stuff. But again, it's way more to it than just Jay-Z. It's way more to it than just that one entity over this whole thing. Let's move into what Roc Nation is telling you you're going to get out of the deal. I just pulled a few things, but they got this lengthy post on Twitter. Social media insights. Learn what platforms your fans use the most. Track your fans and hashtags. That sounds interesting. Video distribution. They will distro almost any video to everywhere. It looks like they're going to be able to give you guys a range of places where you can put your videos on. And probably one of the most important things that I think is helpful is a strict AI policy. Roc Nation said that they have a good AI policy and it's in full detail and compliance with what the major labels are doing. But here's what's the crazy part about it. That's no different than what United Masters, DistroKid, or any other of the services where you just pay a straight fee is doing. They're not doing anything differently. And here's the kicker. When you sign to their distro and when you use that, you can't say that you're a Roc Nation artist. And I think a lot of independent artists want to use that as their point to be able to make it to the next level. They want to be able to say, yo, I'm a part of Roc Nation. No, sorry, artist. You can't use Roc Nation as your label when you do this. That's not a part of the deal. And it's not going to help you in any way, shape, or form. Now, I have been pushing the United Masters and DistroKid are two of the best places to go when you're an independent artist to get your music distributed to every other place you want to. They have the same rules. They have a flat fee. They do pretty much everything that Roc Nation Distro is doing. The only problem is they don't have the Roc Nation name, and Jay-Z's not hovering over the whole thing like the invisible hand. I have to agree with Russ when he made the point of giving somebody 15% of what you earn is way worse than just giving out a flat fee of $50 a year. I think you guys are missing the point about figuring out what's best for you as an independent artist. Being independent means you have to count every cent that you have. You got to count all your money, and you have to earn as much as you can so you can reinvest in what you're doing. Now, with this Roc Nation slave deal, because that's exactly what it is, they're not looking out for your best interest. Could they get you in a lot of places that you hadn't been before? Yeah, sure they can. But I don't see them doing anything with sync. One thing about United Masters that I've seen firsthand is getting people sync deals, which is another form of income you can get. I don't think Roc Nation is even thinking about sync deals right now. And again, they just started, so we never know what could be added on to this system later on. But is 15% of what you earn really worth being under Roc Nation and you can't even claim Roc Nation? That's the problem I'm having. You can't even claim Roc Nation on anything. Just a distribution place. It's funny and it's kind of crazy that that's even how this is going to go down. Now, I think a lot of people are going to ignorantly sign up for this because they think it's going to be their best move, and they've seen what Roc Nation has done for artists like Meg Thee Stallion, or she's under Roc Nation's management, and Lil Uzi Vert. But that's their management. That's not the label stuff. That's where we get a lot of things crisscrossed and confused. They're managed by Roc Nation. They have the power to be able to use Roc Nation to their advantage. You as an independent artist are just using a distribution center that's just going to put your videos and your music out there and try to keep the AI from fucking with your shit. That's the biggest difference, and that's what people are educating you about. So When the masses are saying this is a slave deal, maybe you should listen to them. Maybe you should get a better understanding as an independent artist that this is not the way to go. I'm not talking down on Roc Nation because we have a lot of people who look at Roc Nation as the Illuminati. I don't want them to take my channel. But I also understand the difference between a good deal and a bad deal. And anybody going with this Roc Nation distro, that's a bad deal, bro. Don't give up your 15% because of that. And I don't think the perks match the percentage that they're getting. It just don't look appealing to me. Now, I'm not an artist, not one bit. I'm a podcaster. I'm a nigga with a microphone that tells you guys my opinion about shit. But I know good and goddamn well, 15% for the rest of my career is not worth that. It's just not. But let me know what you think about it. How do you feel about this Roc Nation distro? Do you think this is the best move for independent artists? Do you think that 15% is fair? Let me know down there in the comments. I got nothing else for y'all this week, man. You got everything out of me. I hope you guys have a great week. I promise you I'm going to give you guys some reviews on the new Wale album and on Sibo's new album and Summer Walker's album as well. So make sure you guys stay tuned to the channel. Make sure you're watching my my video about GNX 1 year later. I have some interesting things to say about whether or not it's a classic. I appreciate you guys joining the channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next episode. Peace out.
She is kind of fucking with my money, but I meant everything I said, and I say it again.